A lot of people would come up to me and say, you doing a third one? Are you doing a third one? But the joke always was, what's it going to be? Tokyo has fallen? Santa Barbara has fallen?
To round out the end of summer, how does a heated political action flick sound? Gerard Butler and Morgan Freeman star in the third installment of the Has Fallen franchise, Angel Has Fallen. Here's everything you need to know before you go. Let's talk about the key players in the previous two films. We've got Gerard Butler as Mike Banning, a former U.S. Army Ranger, now a Secret Service agent. Aaron Eckhart as President Benjamin Asher. Morgan Freeman as Speaker of the House, Vice President, and Acting President Alan Trumbull. And Angela Bassett as Lynn Jacobs, Director of the Secret Service. Why do people love it? In addition to the heavy hitter actors, people love the franchise for its boisterous action filled with danger, excitement, and thrills. Whether they're heroes or villains, the stories justify and explain the motivations of the clearly defined characters. And since these films are primarily action-based, they translate easily across borders. They've grossed more money overseas than in the US. The franchise kicked off with Olympus Has Fallen. Secret Service agent Mike Banning was assigned to President Asher and his wife Margaret, of which he had a friendly and personal relationship. As a result of a freaky car accident, First Lady Margaret was killed.
Sir.
Banning was able to save the president, but he reminded President Asher too much of the tragedy that took his wife, so he was reassigned to the Treasury Department. 18 months later, this is the part that kicks into high gear. President Benjamin Asher, along with two other international officials, are held hostage by terrorists motivated by history and personal vendettas. Before dying, one of Asher's Secret Service agents alerts director Lynn Jacobs that
Olympus has fallen. Olympus has fallen.
Hey, that's the name of the movie. Banning rejoins the White House defense to rescue the president and hostages. Single-handedly, he disables the White House surveillance and gains access to President Asher's satellite phone to communicate with Director Jacobs and Alan Trumbull, Speaker of the House and now acting president. Banning's first mission, and done successfully, was to rescue Connor, the president's son, because he knew Kang would use him as the president's weakness. After doing so, Banning goes to work taking out the terrorists one by one until he gets to Kang. Kang eventually cracked the president's code to Cerberus, which he needed in order to carry out his plan.
Tens of millions of Americans will perish. Your country will be a cold, dark, nuclear wasteland.
After which he attempted to escape with Asher. Banning ends Kang in a one-on-one fight, and in the nick of time disables Cerberus with the help of acting President Trumbull. The film ends with Banning returning to President Asher's side after saving his life once more.
Sorry about the house, sir.
Now on to London Has Fallen. Once again, the story centers around Agent Mike Banning's ability to rescue people and kick ass. 2 years after a terrorist mastermind is taken out by a drone strike, Banning, President Asher, and Secret Service Director Jacobs travel to the UK for the funeral of the British Prime Minister. While arriving, mercenaries disguised as police officers attack different city landmarks, civilians, and public officials. While the three are fleeing to safety, Director Jacobs is killed and dies in Mike's arms. He promises her he'll get the people responsible for the devastation. Mike gets in communication with Vice President Trumbull and tells him he and the president have escaped the chaos and are alive. While in the tunnel, the president tells Banning to kill him because that's what the terrorists want.
That's an order.
Banning agrees, reluctantly. Soon after, the White House staff learns that the Prime Minister was poisoned and killed in an effort to bring world leaders together. This was the terrorists' plan. Asher is abducted in their attempt to get to the US Embassy. When Mike regains consciousness, he goes after Asher and the terrorist with SAS commandos. He saves Asher just before the terrorists try to enact his execution on live TV. With the president now safe, 2 weeks later, Mike is at home with his wife and newborn baby. He considers handing in his letter of resignation, but something stops him. What's the news story? Former Vice President Alan Trumbull has been elected president. Banning enjoyed a cordial relationship with Trumbull in the past, but now finds himself under suspicion of an assassination attempt upon the president. Banning's own agency, along with the FBI, pursues him, believing him to be guilty, forcing him to join forces with unexpected allies to clear his name and identify the guilty parties. How is this one different from the others? Let's have the cast tell us.
Angel Has Fallen is what Logan was to X-Men. A much more personal journey where the rest of what's going on is really in the back. You know, we're really seeing all his struggles, his strange relationship with his father who abandoned him when he was a kid, fugitive style journey of a guy who we know and love now in the most peril.
These films, what defines them is action.
It's like a roller coaster. If you give them that up and rest period, and it's got substance to it, you get a drama in your action picture. That's what fascinated me.
So now you know, and now you can go see Angel Has Fallen August 23rd.